this is the UK. It's known for its red, white, and blue flag. The thick red cross in the middle represents the country of England, the blue Scotland, and the smaller cross is Northern Ireland. But there's one question that still remains. Where is Wales? To why is Wales not on the British flag is simple to most history buffs. They simply didn't exist during the creation of the flag. Wales was technically part of the of England during this time, even though it did have its own autonomy, specifically the counties in Wales at this time, except for a random city near the border for some reason. So they simply never thought to add it. Also, it wouldn't really work with the cross part. Or would it? We'll talk about that later. But this is basically the tree of how it worked. The St. Andrew's cross was overlaid under the St. George's cross to create the king's colors. Then you got the St. Patrick's cross and overlaid it under the St. George's cross, but still in front of the St. Andrew's cross, and you got the Union Jack. But why did they never get added to it? I mean, Northern Ireland got added to it, actually just Ireland at that time, when it joined the Union. Well, joined is a strong word there. But still, why isn't it that Wales didn't get their own flag? Well, before they got independence, they did actually ask for one thing: the coat of arms. I'll be using independence a lot. They didn't actually get independence, but still. Why would Wales ask for this before they got autonomy? Well, they were already an autonomous area of England, as said before, so it didn't really matter to anybody. So, in the 19th century, two people started petitioning to change the coat of arms. The Scottish unicorn had replaced a Welsh dragon before, and now they wanted to change the coat of arms for some representation. Probably to remove one of the two English lions there, because why do you need two? But it was rejected, because A, according to them, Wales was never a kingdom, and B, according to them, Wales never had a flag. I mean, never had, but didn't have it currently. However, the first one of these was wrong. Of course, there was no entity ever called the Kingdom of Wales, but there was the Kingdom, I'm not pronouncing that, which once controlled most of Wales, minus a few areas. So, saying there was never a Kingdom of Wales is not accurate. For example, the Mauryan Empire is an Indian empire. It had Indian ancestry. Most of the population was Indian, and it took up most of the land of India. So, instead of Indian, is it just Mauryan? No, it's Indian. Same with not pronouncing that. The second choice, however, was correct. At the time, Wales didn't have a flag. But then again, this is exactly why they wanted to be represented. Because they didn't have a flag. They wanted to at least be represented in the coat of arms if they couldn't even have their own flag. And this was exactly what would spark the thing that would give Wales a flag. So it was very obvious to Wales that since these were told as the reasons why they couldn't join, considering the first reason is just history and they could do nothing about it, even though it wasn't true. They could do something about the second part. If it doesn't have a flag, then give them one. However, the government of the United Kingdom beat them to it. They made this flag, which was similar to the Welsh flag, white and green bicolor background, but instead of just a dragon, it had a strip saying with a crown on top, and in the middle a seal with the flag, except instead of the emblem, it had the Welsh flag. However, this was only supposed to be flown if it was approved by the government. So it's basically only for use in federal areas. So basically, if you're holding one of these Welsh flags and you do not have permission to do so, then you cannot have the Welsh flag. So naturally, they made unofficial flags instead. Now, this will actually solve the problem. And in 1959, even though Wales technically wasn't a country of the United Kingdom, actually today it's a principality, but whatever, it became this. Much better. One of those few flags where it doesn't matter how much design ethics there are, it still looks good. The Welsh dragon today is a very important symbol of Wales, and it even was an important symbol to the locals in Wales for a quite long time. And when they got independence in 1967, not independence, but you know what I mean, they got to keep the flag. Unlike poor Northern Ireland, which today doesn't technically have an official flag. Although technically neither does the United Kingdom. But we'll talk about that later in another video, hopefully. Remember when I was talking about that Wales had a cross just like the rest of the United Kingdom? Yeah, it's this cross. It's a St. David's cross with a black background with a yellow cross, similar to the English flag, except it has different colors. In 2017, a proposal was made to include this cross on the flag, with the English cross being outlined in yellow, making it so that the Welsh cross would just be right under the English cross. However, it was rejected because it's ugly. I'm sorry, but it is. Another one that's currently being proposed is this one with the green accompanying the red. This makes it look like the true Welsh flag, and honestly, it wouldn't look so bad. Then there's the one with the British Union Jack, except with a dragon on top. It would be good, but the main critics say it represents the Welsh too much. Then there's also the one with the top area being a Welsh dragon head, and then there is this one on the left. I don't think I need to say anymore. The story of the Welsh flag is one of representation and struggle. Today, the Welsh flag does not have Wales on it. The Welsh flag, the British flag. But it may someday, and who knows, maybe someday, instead of the red, white, and blue, we may see a dragon. However, it's probably not likely, as everybody knows this British Jack by now, and yeah. Most Welsh people probably don't even want this flag to change, although I'm just pulling from a few polls. Since the only reason they wanted to be represented was because they didn't have a flag, as said earlier in the video. And now that they do have a flag, not really a lot of people care if the Union Jack changes. As for now, they have their own flag. Just hope it doesn't get taken away like Northern Ireland. But even if it does get taken away, does it really matter? I mean, Northern Ireland doesn't have an official flag, but everybody knows it's unofficial flag that's used in sports. So it doesn't actually matter if the Welsh don't have a representation, because the only thing that matters when it comes to flags is usage and symbolism. Then again, British flags are just weird, so whatever.